What is going on, guys? Today we're going to be building the best cheap Premier League team you can get in FC24. So we're going to start off by going through a few people, starting off with the goalkeeper. Now we are looking for as relatively cheap as possible, but at least still usable. Like, it's no point us going all the way down and saying, okay, we can go with Henderson just because we know that he's going to be a K or 500 coins. We've still got to make it at least usable to some extent. And with keepers, you've got the best two, which is going to be Alisson, Ederson. They're both coming in at 212 and 137 between them two. Alisson getting ahead now by 1, which is incredible this year. We've normally seen them both at the same rating. We then have Onana at 85, coming in at about 28,000, and also Martinez at 13. I must admit, the one that I'm looking for the most here, I've been using Ramsdale and I think he's decent, but what I've been coming up against the most is our man Pope. He has been absolutely insane against, and some of the saves have been next level. He's coming in at about 12,000 coins at the moment. More than likely drops that little bit more as we go forward. He has got a 3-star weak foot if you really wanted to know, but in terms of the stats, we're looking good for a goalie. We have got obviously play styles as well. We've got footwork, cross-claimer, and also rush out. The only one he doesn't have is the far throw, and he doesn't have a playstyle plus, which I don't know which keepers do, actually. Can we even see that? Pretty sure we can see that on here. Yes, we can. So a goalkeeper who has got a playstyle plus, as any of them? I don't think any of them do. Do any goalkeepers have any playstyle plus, or they're not going to tell me? Let's click on Courtois and see. No. Okay, so none of them have playstyle plus. Let me know if there is a goalkeeper one. But then we move on to fullbacks. So we're going to start with a right back here. Let's go into the Premier Leagues then. And I must admit, the first one on the mind, and from what I've seen, is going to be Trent, mainly because of this playstyle plus. The long ball pass / the whipped pass is incredible for a lofted ball in. The crossing is absolutely insane. That is the only reason why I would be considering him. In terms of a fullback price, he's coming in at 10,000 coins as well, which really isn't terrible. Other options, James and Walker would be my other two that I'm going for. I would think them two would be the kind of the other prices that we go for, because Walker's 134, which most definitely doesn't make him into the cheap side, and James is 11,000, so we've got something there. But in terms of what I would say, I'm thinking Trent for the whipped balls. I must admit, what have we got here? We've got whipped pass as well. All crosses highly accurate, travels faster with more curve, performs driven crosses with exceptional power as well. Could be a nice shout, but Trent does have a little bit more pace for him, so he's going to go into there. When we go into the fullback side, for the left-hand side, we have got Cancelo. We're going to have to ignore him, as obviously he has transferred to Barca, so that card is pretty much unavailable. We then have Jean-Arnaud Risset, love him, but he's coming in at 180,000. Has power shot as well. Well, we know the free kicks. If you've ever watched him, you know full well what his power's like. Robertson is the next highest at 30,000 coins, other than Lamptey, obviously. He's coming in at 71. Luke Shaw is kind of the next step, so if I'm going for under 30k a position, then Robertson wouldn't be chosen, but I feel like Robertson's probably going to be the better shout, really. In terms of anybody else, I just don't see a shot, really. So I'm going to have to go Robertson and accept a 30,000 coin there. I don't think that's too expensive at this point. Centre-back wise, though, this is where it can get really interesting. As we know full well, Virgil's coming in at 300. Varane's at 120. Kyle Walker can play at centre-back as well, but we know, again, he is 138. If we were going for a player, I'm thinking Saliba's always a solid shout, but now at an 83 is still 70,000 coins, which is crazy in his own right. We've got Gravadal at 28,000, John Stones at 5.7, giving you a bit of rating if you really wanted to. From what I've been using, we've mainly been using Konate, Ake, Akanji, and also Martinez, kind of rotating them round. And I must admit, Martinez has been doing pretty well for me. So he's going to be my first shout when it comes to a centre-back. Again, maybe not everybody's cup of tea, but I must admit he has been doing really, really well in that first position. The next one for very cheap prices is going to be our man Gomez. 82 pace and 73 gives him that link across the box here. We've obviously got Robertson with 80 pace, so he's going to be covering Martinez, and then also Gomez will cover a bit of Trent. I think that's a solid back lineup. I mean, it's not the greatest, but for the price, it's definitely going to do us a job. Then we sit into that centre mid role. So we've got a choice between what we kind of want to go for. If it is more cam, centre mid, DM, I'm going to be looking based on all of them. I really want a defensive and attacking player, or at least one of them has to be a box-to-box for both sides. So already I'm looking at KDB. He is coming in at a fair price, to be honest. I think he's only about 100,000, which isn't terrible to start with. Tonale is also another great one. Let's have a look at the DMs because it's not showing all of them. But when we have a look at Tonale, incredible stats. For a DM at 86, that is a beautiful card coming in at 135, which already is absolutely insane. If we go down in price that little bit more, we're looking towards kind of like the 10k range, just because we want to make a base. I don't need to be buying 50 to 100,000 coin players because that can drop very, very quickly. The one that I don't know the price of, Declan Rice, not bad. Pace-wise, a little bit shot, but everything else looking good as a solid DM. Currently coming in at 13,000. I'm thinking, if I was going for more of a box-to-box slash centre mid, at a very reasonable price, Joel Linton's definitely coming into some sort of arrangement there. I don't really see any DMs that are really taking my fancy, other than maybe Rice, but again, depends on what sort of pace you want. Let's have a look at what the pace is for Joel Linton. I want to say, it looks like it's 71, so I mean, it's not that much better. Bruno Gomes as well, how much is he coming in at? He has got to be that little bit more expensive than Joel Linton, surely. He is a whopping, if we can even find him. In fact, let's just click him. Let's find out. He is coming in at, okay, nothing of a price. That's not bad. So I'm feeling, to be honest, I'm feeling as a cheap partnership, you could definitely go with Joel Linton and Bruno Gomes. Make sure you get them massive links, and it could really work out. 78 pace. I mean, it's not terrible. The only thing that annoys me is this glitch that you can't actually search the player. He's coming in, yeah, way under 11k, which is not a problem whatsoever. I think that pairing's going to do some work. You could argue you could go with an Odegaard, a Bernardo Silva, just to make it a little bit more easier on that sort of cam roll. But I think for me, that is a good pairing nonetheless. Then we move on to wingers. Now, this is where it can get expensive. And to be honest, it's why I've been holding out on positions. Like, we're looking at this team right now. We're looking at, what, 30, say, 40, 50, 60, say about 80,000 coins for, at the minute, this squad. The wingers and the strikers are always going to be the most expensive spot. So, if we go into the Prem, Diaby, 70,000 coins, looks nuts. I've seen a couple of bits of him, and he looks rapid, which is incredible to see already. If we go, because most of them are normally right wing anyway, if I was looking at a right wing, Salah's obviously always a great shout. Saka really isn't that bad priced. For 40,000 coins, I think he does a little bit of a number. The only thing that they screwed with him, the freestar is just an absolute killer. So we would be looking somewhere along the lines of Elise, Kudus, Anthony potentially. I know that a few left wingers can play right wing as well, so let's have a look and just see if we don't go too hasty with this. Rashford is always the shout, but unfortunately cannot be cheap at all. We then have Sterling, another great shout with a 4-star skills. Martinelli, I want to say, I don't think he's too expensive. 22,000, again coming in with the 4-star skills, which is always nice. Can play only left wing. What is Diaz, in fact? 36, so he might be over the budget a little bit. If I'm being honest, I would say Ansu Fati is going to be a great shout for the Founders Evolution, the Relentless Evolution. I think it's welcome to Evolutions and Relentless, turning him into an 85 purely for the basis that you can get him done. So I'm going to go with that purely on using the fact that we can have him in that right wing. So what I do here is what I've been doing with a lot of teams, because some of them, for instance, with Ansu Fati, can play left wing, left mid. If I wanted to have a left wing, left mid, I have got the right wing added because of the Relentless Winger. So that's going to be a great shout for very little coins and just a bit of game played. Then, if I'm going for the kind of next best, I don't think Sterling's going to do enough. I'm going to go for not Sterling. I'm going to go for Martinelli, purely for the fact that 20,000 coins isn't terrible for one card, taking this squad probably to about 100,000 coins with the strikers left. Now, this is where it does get a little bit tricky, because strikers are expensive. They always are going to be, and the amount that we can go, I would love to give a go with Tevez. He looks insane. Currently coming in at 830. he's got to be absolutely nuts. Berbatov as well, the touch on him is going to be incredible. And then we've got pretty much the same that we already knew. When it comes to them, though, we've got Gabriel Jesus. We have got Nunez, who, because of the evolution, is very, very expensive. He's currently coming in at 28,000 coins for an 82. Even though he does have the 90 pace, that could always be a shout. Again, for the evolutions, getting 2 of them in there would be a nice shout. Then we have the likes of Jesus at 19, Gakpo at 16. Danjuma's obviously expensive because of the founders as well. So I think we're going to have to either bite the bullet on one of them and really hope that we get a decent evolution out of them. So I think Nunez would be my first shout in terms of this. That it just has to be. When it comes to strikers, they have to be on a level. And I think the next one's got to be Jesus with him. If I'm being brutally honest, that is a standard team. And even though this is just a starter, I have seen better teams than this on day one, which is so scary to see with the amount of packs that we've got, all of the extra kind of players, the women in the game, icons, heroes already there. I've seen a lot of top-end teams, and this would definitely get you by for the start of the game because we haven't got the standard edition yet, so this would definitely do. I think the evolutions for, obviously, Ansu, and if Nunez you could get untradeable would be nice, but if you have to buy him, remember that he isn't a first owner once you've done the evolutions. It just is what it is. Unfortunately, it doesn't actually count. It will say that you have bought him, just as a kind of a proof for that. We have, obviously, done Werner in the Bundesliga, and we did, I believe we bought him. And as you can see, he is technically untradeable, but not first owner. It is what it is. So that, unfortunately, is one. Just so you know, you'll see the first owner symbol somewhere. Where do we see the first owner symbol? I want to say it was somewhere, but it might not be. Oh, it'll be at the top. Of course it is. So, yeah, you don't see the first owner. Unfortunately, he didn't actually get it. But that's my team. Let me know who you'd change.